cozy as hell.
We are back again at the Zaniboni household. Welcome back to Dell's Ducks this week again. Bill, I just want to thank you first. This is Bill Zaniboni, head coach of the Dell's Ducks. I want to thank you for your hospitality for the last couple issues out on your patio, which is gorgeous, right on the backdrop of the Baraboo Country Club, and today in your basement. Thank you very much for hosting this.
No, it's a pleasure. It's nice to be in a relaxed environment.
Yeah, away from the rink when you can, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is kind of an interesting time now where we were just talking before we went on air here that you're going into probably your final camp of the summer. You're going to go to a camp in Chicago for an NA team, and you're kind of I don't know. It's a time when you worry, I guess, if you got the right talent and stuff. But there's also a lot of excitement. I got to think about finally getting on the ice. You can see that light at the end of the tunnel right now.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's the biggest thing, right? Is every team I think probably is in the same boat, whether it's USHL or all the way down. So it's to AAA. I mean, you worry about if you got the right tools or the right pieces to your puzzle, and you don't know until everyone shows up and you see how things go when they're in the blender. So I mean, I'm excited. I think we're probably looking for a few more final touches, but I think we're pretty excited with how things are going and the direction that we're in. So
it's going to be an interesting team. We have a few returners. We were talking about that. Maybe not as many as in previous years, but you've had a hard time hiding your excitement with a lot of the guys you have coming in. You do have a senior team again. You've gone with an older team, which I think is your style. That's the kind of team you like to have, a lot of experience and maturity on your team, and you seem pretty happy with what you have.
Yeah, I think right now, we have 3 97s. And that's, right now, that's probably as young as we'll go. We did offer a 98 out of California, but he decided to play AAA, and you know what? It's probably a good decision. You'd probably get more ice time right off of the bat and develop, and that's what we want for guys. We're not the right spot for everyone, and we got to make sure that we put kids in a position to succeed, right? So, I mean, I'm excited with the older guys. We don't. We have a ton of 96s, so guys with 2 years eligibility. I think right now we're at 4 95s.
Okay.
So, but we still are top heavy with age, and I like the experience. I think you can maybe start off a little bit harder and get after it, more in depth right away, and I enjoy being around those type of guys.
Okay. Last week we talked a little bit about some of the returning guys like Jared, and by the way, it does appear that Sherman Mowry will be coming back to the Dell's Ducks. I was at the Janesville camp for a little while, and Coach, you spent most of the weekend there.
Yep.
He had a good camp, I thought. I mean, he played well. It's a tough step to take, and he did his best, I thought, and he's learned from the experience, and he'll be ready. He'll be better for it, I think.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, and you know what? Like he probably played too structured, and that's what we were trying to tell him during camp was, you got to kind of let that go out the window a little bit and kind of showcase yourself rather than going and showing that you can play within a system, because that's not what it's about. And he had, I think that was where he struggled the most, was he was so used to being, the F3 coming back into the zone, or maybe the low guy down low in the D zone, and he was worried about that kind of stuff. I think maybe rather than just, kind of showcasing your own talent, and I mean, we're excited to get a guy like that back.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be a good returner for us up front, and kind of help out. Makes us stronger down the middle of the ice, with him being the center that he is, and I mean, he's a great kid, and that's what we want to have here.
So we do. The team once again will have a pretty good local flavor.
Yep.
Sean Teskey, I think we maybe talked about him before. Tyler Arneson, Dylan Van Sickle is a guy we haven't talked too much about,
Yep.
but he has committed to coming back. And you added another player from semi-local from the Toma area recently. So maybe you can talk a little bit about him.
Yeah, we had a Josh Repo, big strong defenseman. Came to our camp and did really well. Kind of showcased. I think both sides of the puck where he could help out offensively and move up into the play and handle things in front of the net and in his D zone. And, coming out of high school and being a kid that's 40 minutes away, I think that excites me. And he's a young kid that has a lot of raw talent, and I think he's going to really transfer well to the junior hockey level. And he takes his physical conditioning really seriously, and he wants to be a hockey player. And his mentality and just how he presented himself, I think, kind of put himself in a good spot for us. He just came down to the Dells about 3 weeks ago, and just how he presented himself, at the rink in my office, and it's a kid that we're honored to have wear a uniform for us.
That's always nice to see. This team has players from really across the nation. We've had players from Austria, Switzerland, Latvia, Netherlands.
Yeah.
But it's always nice, I think, to have at least a couple guys that are from the area. I think it just looks good for the program to have a couple local players.
Yeah, and I think every year it's gotten increased a little bit.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And that's important. Hopefully, we're going into our 5th year, right in the Dells, and the word's starting to spread a little bit more, and
Yeah.
and the more and more guys that can use this as a stepping stone and have a great experience here, then the more it spreads. That people are attracted to come play here.
I have an interesting question, and this is something I've thought about quite a bit over the summertime. Maybe some advice for players. A lot of leagues like the Tier 1 USHL have their final camps quite early in the summer.
Yeah.
NA follows, and we had our camp fairly early. A lot of players have committed to the team and sort of had it under their belt early. What is your advice to a player? I mean, I don't think that once you have the team made that you just go home and say, I'll see you in September. What's your kind of advice for players that what do you do after, say, for the last 6 weeks or so of the summer to make sure that you're ready come September?
Well, I think the biggest thing is probably communication. Once you sign with a team, and I guess for me as a coach, I look at it and see like, okay, our kid's going to be comfortable, because that's a mentality that doesn't usually work out very well. But communication's big, I think, with the staff. So like our guys, we communicate through a mass email, and I get information out to them, and there's just expectations that are set, and I think that's great that you have a spot on the team or you sign a contract, but where you lie on that team is really, it's up to you as a player. So how bad do you want to be a special team guy? How bad do you want to be that guy to get counted on the last minute and a half of a game? And I think that's kind of your motivation to prepare for the final 6 weeks or month of the season to train and get ready and come in and be sharp. Like I can tell you right now, our guys are going to report here August 19th. We're going to start on August 20th, and we play August 28th, and that's real quick to go play
games or?
No, that's going to be in Janesville. It's a Janesville Jets.
Okay. Tradition.
Yeah, but I mean, it's you don't want to show up out of shape because your whole week to prepare to play in the North American League is going to be a waste. So it's it's who wants to be a hockey player, who wants to give themselves the best opportunity.
And I think those days, I mean, I remember when I was young, with the pro leagues, they would kind of ease themselves into the season. Those days are kind of long gone, and I mean, we learned last year, we finished deadlocked.
Yep.
2 points in September might have made the difference between us having home ice for that last game against Rochester.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just games in September are equally as important as March. You have to be ready to play, I think.
Yeah, and we try to stress that because a lot of our guys with the older teams that we've had are going to go play college hockey at some level.
Right.
And it's my job to try to prepare them the best when they get there. They're not a number; they're a successful player for that school, and we talk about that all the time with our guys. You can't take things for granted because when you're in college, you're playing 25, 30 games. Everything is such, it's weighted so heavily, and that's kind of the pressure that we put on our guys every weekend. It's 2 points, and that's the main objective going in every weekend is how are we going to get 2 points. It doesn't have to be pretty. It's just about getting it and getting out of the door.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like I said last year, them early losses hurt us for a while. We ended up coming back, but you just never know how important a game's going to be down the road. Every loss can have an effect, and you don't like losing any of them. I know that.
No, yeah, we definitely don't. It just, there's a way to lose a game and a way not to lose a game, right? So, if we're doing everything right and we're coming up short, it's just trying to keep guys motivated and plugging in the right direction. So, with the older guys, I think there's a lot more on the line, and adding those 6, 7 young guys into that mix, make sure that those guys kind of understand it and they're getting taken under the wing, and I think it helps those younger guys develop as well. So.
Do you? I know it's awful early to ask this, but do you see, like, just with the players that you've kind of got written into your different columns and stuff like that? Do you see any kind of an identity for the team in terms of how they're going to play this year? Any different than maybe last year's team?
Well, I think right now we're probably more skilled than we have been in the past for sure, and I guess that's a little kind of uncharted territories for a Dell's Ducks team, where we mostly just kind of been a grind and bang type team, and we found success that way. But I'm excited to kind of see the skill that we have coming in. I think we get a lot of fast, crafty players, and I think our back end is pretty bulky and big. So I'm hoping that we have the right mix to go into this new league and make a real positive impression, from the Midwest to the East Coast. But I would say, our identity is probably going to be a more skilled hockey team this year, and as long as they're not afraid to do whatever it takes to win games. When we're not scoring pretty goals, if we're willing to block shots and sacrifice for each other, I think we'll be in really good shape.
Okay, thanks very much, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely.
Couple personal things, I guess. We are still looking for billet families. We want to thank a lot of local people have stepped up already. Yeah. We have some new people. But we are obviously always, I guess, looking to get help. And if anybody is interested, any locals that are interested in helping out with the billeting this year, they can contact Bill at dells.hockey.com or Jim at dells.hockey.com, and we'll be glad to welcome you under our wings. Like I said, we can always use a few more families. And we have been pleasantly surprised this summer. We've lost a few, but we've gained a few, so it's been really good. Yeah. And our family's going to grow a little bit for the fall. And you said you talked about the opening weekend, which is now I guess maybe about a month away, maybe even less than a month away now.
Yeah.
The 21st will be the first day of camp, you said?
The 20th.
The 20th will be
Yeah.
the first day camp, and on the 28th we will continue the tradition of making the trip to Janesville. Always a fun and popular game with our fans and their fans.
Absolutely.
And a kind of a spirited game. It's an exhibition game, played in fun, but it's definitely a nice opportunity for our guys to step up. So that'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I think the first year we lost by 2 goals, and then last year we played them in a series, and obviously they were the team that set a record last year. But the site was a 5-0 game on Saturday, and this year we play the 28th and 29th. So we'll see how the weekend series goes.
It's going to be a 2-game set again.
Yeah. So it'd be, it'll be nice. I think we have a lot of guys that would like to play at that level, and maybe to go in there and make a name for themselves. So we're excited to have that opportunity, and very fortunate to have that relationship with the Jets. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, it's been a great arrangement so far.
Yeah.
Coach Dibble, we obviously thank him very much for letting us come into their barn and take on their team every year, and they usually teach us pretty good.
Yeah, they do. I mean, and you know what? They're just a first class organization.
Yeah.
And they treat us great, and all of our players, and it's a great experience I think for everyone. So, and we've lost a couple guys, here and there to them, and that's what this is about.
So, I think we'll probably get together again in a week or so.
Yep.
There'll probably be some more news, maybe some scheduling news. I know people are getting a little bit antsy about seeing our season schedule, including me, but I think we're getting pretty close. And maybe by this time next week we might have a couple things that we can talk about, maybe a few more announcements, player-wise and stuff like that, as we close in on the start of the season. It's hard to believe it's almost here, Coach.
Yeah, no, it's exciting, and I think there's some big announcement, I guess, to end with here is Connell Totten will be joining us for training camp this year. So.
Oh, it's always great to have Connell back in town.
So it'll be good to see him, but yeah, no, I mean that it's right here. It's ready to go, and hopefully the humidity cuts down a little bit before these guys hit the off-ice training. Yeah. But if not, we'll take them to Devil's Lake, and they can enjoy the scenery. So.
For anybody who doesn't remember, Connell Totten played for Coach at Bozeman, I believe, and then played your first year here, which I guess would be the 12-13 season, I think, and he'll be going into his 3rd year at East Washington. I think
Eastern Washington.
Washington, where I think there's another player that plays there too.
Colin Pearl.
Oh, that's right, Colin. Yeah, right. So yeah, it's always Totten, a fan favorite, a real popular player, and it'll be great to see him again. Can't wait to see you, Connell.
Yeah.
So we're going to call it a week, and thanks, Coach, again.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see you next week with some more news. Thank you.